Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another video. So you're probably wondering what's going on with the RS4. Based off of the title of the video, you're probably a little bit confused, but if you've been following me on Instagram, you've probably noticed over the past month or two that I have been trying to sell the RS4, and I figured I would just put together, a quick video just to let you know what's going on with it and why I've decided to move on from this platform. So be sure to stick around to the end of the video because I will talk about my plans going from here after I sell the RS4 car-wise. Before you jump into any of the like conspiracy theories or anything like that, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this car. It's actually in fantastic shape, as you've known by the videos that I posted, especially I guess it was 2 videos ago, where I give you an 18-month update. You know that I took very good care of it. I refreshed a lot of the stuff on the interior and the exterior. The car looks absolutely fantastic. It's running great, but I just figured it was kind of time for me to move on from the B7 RS4 platform. So yeah, like some of the critical parts to these cars are starting to get really hard to find, and some of them are actually no longer available. And I don't know if Audi has any kind of plans to start producing these parts ever again, or if they're just going to kind of desert this platform. I really hope that's not the case, because the RS4, as many of you know, is just an absolutely fantastic car. Something that we'll probably never ever see again, because they just don't make the V8s, and manual transmissions are pretty much gone now. But some of the things I've noticed that are really hard to find, like water pumps, alternators, and actually I'm not even sure if you can even get water pumps for these anymore, but I know alternators are getting hard to find. It's just real like critical parts are just starting to get to the point where you just can't find them. So it's getting kind of risky to own these cars. You do want to make sure that if you're looking at one that you're very handy and that you can do the work yourself on them. I would highly recommend getting a quick jack, or maybe, obviously a lift is going to be, even better than that. But if you can do a lot of the work yourself, you'll be in pretty good shape as long as you can find those parts. But again, it's just getting to the point where I thought it was just getting a little bit risky to hold on to it. So yeah, that's kind of the reason that I've decided to move on from this platform. It really did give me one of the best driving experiences. As many of you know, I have had, things like Evo 9s in the past, which were also, a fantastic car, but it was very fun to drive, really happy with it, but I just figured it was time to move on from it. So before we close out this video, I do want to talk about some of the things I loved about it. Obviously, I just talked about some of the things that are kind of, concerns of mine going forward with the platform. But let's talk about some of the great things about it. I'll just give you a list of 5 things that I really loved about the B7 RS4. And what I'll do is I'll actually start from, I guess, my least favorite thing, if that makes sense. It's still one of my favorite things about it, but it's gonna be the least on the list. So we'll go in like kind of reverse order. So the first thing, I guess would be number 5, would be the interior design of the B7 RS4. So as many of you know, this is about 15 years old now. It still looks really good even after all of that time. It has that real minimalist look to it. The carbon fiber trim looks really good. One of the things that we probably could have used here in the US is gonna be that flat bottom steering wheel that actually comes out of Lamborghinis. We did not have that option here in the United States, which would have made the interior look even better. And then we also did not get the bucket seats, which also look fantastic. So if we would have had those 2 options here in the US, the interior of this car would be pretty much timeless. They look absolutely fantastic. There are a couple of them in the US that are running those bucket seats. They basically imported them, and then same goes with the steering wheel. They kind of sourced them after they bought the cars. And if you see one of those models with those things installed on them, they look fantastic. So, aside from those 2 things, the interior still looks great. The seats, they're the comfort seats that we have in the US. They're still very comfortable. You have things like the heated seats. Obviously, you have the electric sunshade in the back, along with sunshades in the doors. But yeah, overall, that interior still looks really good, even 15 years later. All right, so number 4 on my list is going to be the wheels on the RS4. So as many of you know, Audi is really great with all of their wheel designs. I guess I would say up until probably the most recent generation, they're starting to they're not as good looking. But back in the day, this wheel style was absolutely fantastic. It still is great now. I absolutely love them. And something special about the RS4 is that the wheels have a different offset than all of the other ones in this style. So they have a lot more concavity to them, and they look really great. So that's one of the things that I really love about this car is the wheels and how concave they are. And then number 3 on the list is going to be the wide body on the RS4. So as many of you know, if you know anything about the RS4s, they have the really wide fenders on them. They do have that wider track, so in order to fit those wheels within the wheel wells, they obviously had to make the fenders bulgier. So if you look at the back of the car, the way that the fenders stick out is just absolutely awesome. It's a timeless design, never gets old, and whenever you see a RS4 on the road, you'll definitely notice it just because of the stance of it. So that's gonna be my number 3 favorite thing about the RS4. So number 2 on my list is going to be, I think this one's probably gonna be pretty obvious. It's going to be the engine in this car, and then also the transmission. So as many of you know, it does have the 4.2 liter V8, pumps out about 420 horsepower. I can't remember the torque numbers on it, but it's also up there. Again, it's nothing compared to what we have out today. But back in the day, back in 2007, 2008, you got to remember that that's a really high horsepower number, and it's just a fantastic engine. And the transmission, paired up to that 6-speed manual transmission, it's such a great car to drive. So if you ever get a chance to drive an RS4, if you have a friend that has one, or even if you think about buying one yourself, you're really going to enjoy the driving experience of this car. So, that's gonna be my number 2 favorite thing about it. And I guess that kind of leads into number 1, which is actually kind of related to number 2, I guess, in a way. So the number 1 thing that I love about the RS4 is gonna be the exhaust note. So the exhaust on these cars, it's something about the way that Audi, and I don't know if it's about all these German cars, but the way that they sound, these V8s is just incredible. You can't match them. If you go out there and try to listen to a V8 Mustang, nothing against Mustang owners, but to me, the German cars just sound so much better. And I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for that because there's a lot of Mustang owners out there. But if you pair up a RS4 V8 exhaust to a Mustang, I'm sorry, the German car is just gonna sound better. Again, that's just my opinion. Probably gonna get a lot of hate for that, but it's just the way I feel about it. And I absolutely love the exhaust note on these cars, especially if you put an aftermarket exhaust on it, something like a Miltech or something like that. They sound really good. So that's gonna be my number 1, I guess, favorite thing about the RS4. And I did promise at the beginning of the video that we would talk about plans going forward. So I haven't really decided what I want to do yet. If you do follow me on Instagram, you've probably noticed I've been talking about something like a C7.5 S6. Again, it's still got that Audi V8, but it does have a twin turbo linked up to that. So that is another pretty awesome car. But I haven't really decided if that's the path that I want to take. I also do have an opportunity to kind of pursue a business venture that I've been thinking about, starting up and doing all that kind of stuff. So that is another option. And then, I don't know, maybe we'll just hold on to the money. I just don't know yet. So as usual, I'm so glad that you guys have joined me on these videos. I know I didn't post a whole lot on the RS4 over the past couple of years just because things have been kind of tough on my end. Just working through some stuff, but we're in a good spot now. Really happy with the RS4, where it's gone. It's in really good shape now, and I'm really happy to be passing this on to another enthusiast that actually lives in Chicago. So this car will be going to Chicago. It is going to a good home, so I'm really happy about that. So there you guys have it. Be sure to stick around. Again, I'm not really sure where we're gonna go from here, but as soon as I figure it out, I will let you guys know. And I guess I'll catch you in the next video.